my fellow designers and creators, hope you're all doing well. This is Chetan here from Design Palette, and welcome to part 4 of creating the cinematic animated promo video. And in this video, we're going to do the next scenes. So without any further ado, let's get started. Alright, so here we are in After Effects, and this is where we left off. Now I've gone ahead and imported the assets for scene 5, and scene 5 is going to have, these screens that, scale in and then they swish to the left side and the right side of the screen, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna come over here and press go one frame forward so we have nothing on the scene, and we're gonna grab all this, move them over here, and we can just release it. Make sure that if everything is on top, right? There we go. Great, so obviously now this is too big and huge, so let's scale this down first of all. So let's scale it down to something that's reasonable. So pretty much like 35%, that should be fine. It'll totally depend for you, right? And also we want to go ahead and add in our beautiful drop shadow to all this because it's very hard to see. All right, and just going to put them in order. So scene 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I've just gone ahead and name the layers. All right, so the way we want to do this is obviously we want to animate the position, we want to animate the scale, and we want to animate the opacity. So we're going to start with S, which is for the scale. I want to create a stopwatch for the scale, and just remember the number. This is 35. What we're going to do is going to go ahead and set this to something like 25. So that becomes a little smaller, and we're gonna go 30 frames forward. So hold down Shift and Control and go 1, 2, 3, 30 frames forward, set this to 35. All right, and we can select all this, right click Keyframe Assistant and choose Easy Ease, and come over here to the graph editor, and let's zoom in over here, select all this, and then just go ahead and ease this out, right? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, right? There we go. Let's run our motion blur again. The next thing is to animate the opacity. So I'm going to press T on my keyboard, get the opacity for that, make sure that the opacity is 0. Let's go 30 frames forward and make sure that the opacity is 100%, right? And then you can go ahead and select all this, right click, Keyframe Assistant, choose Easy Ease, then come over here, select all this, and go ahead and bring it inside, right? So now if you take a look, right, we've got a very nice animation, right? Like so. Great. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come here to the end, and from here I'm going to go 20 frames forward. So press Shift and Control and the right square, the right arrow key. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to animate the position. Okay, so I'm going to press P on my keyboard and add a keyframe, and I'm going to go 30 frames forward. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the first one. We're going to move this over to the far left. Let's actually select the first 3, the 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 5, and move that over all the way towards the right side. And we're going to select 2 and 4, and we're going to move this to the left side of the screen, like so. There we go. And then we're going to select all this, right click, Keyframe Assistant, and choose Easy Ease. And then we can select all this and hold down Shift and drag this to the left, and there we go. So if we kind of take a look at this, right, there we go. We're going to get something that looks like that. All right, great. Now, the next thing is to go ahead and make all this 3D. So just turn on 3D. And also, I'm going to go ahead and offset this a little bit. So the way we want to offset this is I'm going to press U on the keyboard for all this. All right, and I'm going to come here to the part, where the position animation starts, right? From where it moves from the left to the right side. We're going to go and select scene 2 and press the left square bracket key to begin it over here. And now we got to go ahead and increase the duration. So I'm going to make this 40 seconds, right? And the scene number 2, the screen number 2 moves from this point. We're going to select this and press the left square bracket key. And then I come over here. From here, I'm going to select this and choose the left square bracket key. And come over here, click on this, and then press the left square bracket key. All right, so now if you take a look, let's see how this looks. Right, so we've got 1 moves, there you go, and yeah, that looks really good, right? That looks really good. Now I think the drop shadow is not applied to all of them. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, the drop shadow is there for all of them. Great. So now that pretty much our animation is done, now we want to add the camera movement and the camera animation. So let's start off by creating a new camera, right? So I'm going to go right click, new camera. There we go. And this is going to be camera scene 5, right? And I'm going to go create a new null object, right click, new null object. And this is going to be camera, whoops, press enter, camera 5 control. Great. And now we want to make the null object 3D layer, and also take the camera and go ahead and attach it to that, right? There we go. Now I want to make sure that the camera and the camera 5 control begin over here at the same time this is. And now it's time to just go ahead and animate this. Now what I'm going to do is a couple of things. So I'm going to animate the rotation and the scale. So I'm going to press S on my keyboard. So I've got the scale, and I'm going to come over here to, somewhere over here, where this part kind of ends. Okay, I'm just going to increase the scale from 100 to, like 110, right? Just a little bit. And we can go ahead and make this a keyframe assistant and choose easy ease, so that this is a subtle movement. So if we kind of play this, you can see that, right, it's actually moving backwards. So I think, not sure why, but let's set this from 110 to 90, and that should kind of make it grow, right? So now it's growing. That's pretty cool. Great. The next thing I want to do is press R on the keyboard to get the rotation, and press Shift U so we get the scale again. And I want to come over here, and let's actually come to the middle section so we can actually define a nice rotation. All right, something that kind of looks like this. Yeah, this is a good sort of an angle, and I'm going to delete the first keyframe, come over here and bring this over here, and come towards the end. And what we can do is kind of reverse this, something like that, kind of give a dynamic feel, and somewhere over here, and drag this and move this over to the right side. And again, right click, keyframe assistant, and choose easy ease. And this, we don't want to go to the graph editor because we want this to be quite smooth. So now if we take a look at this, right, so you can see that the entire scene is rotating and scaling, and it looks pretty cool, right? Fantastic. Okay, so now we want to go ahead and add in that extra text that we had. So let me just combine this text, copy this text, Control D, and I'm going to move this, all the way to like scene 5. And we want to bring this over here. And obviously this is going to be, and of course, that's the text. All right, so select that, press U, and we're going to get rid of any of the properties. We're going to set the scale to 100. And we're going to double click the pan behind tool to center the anchor point, and then go to align, and then align this like so, right? There we go. So we want this text to start off somewhere over here. Okay, and obviously it's taking up, it's being visible. So I'm going to press S, and we're going to animate the scale. So I'm going to go ahead and sort of like squish this in, so like 60%. And over here, when the entire screen is out, we can set this back to 100, right? And then we can select these two, right click, keyframe assistant, choose easy ease, and then we can select this and then like bring that in. And now if we kind of like quickly take a look, right? So we've got this, great, moves out, and finally we've got, and of course, yeah, fantastic, great. So that's pretty good. So our scene 5 is pretty much done, and now is the last one where we transition from light mode to dark mode, and we kind of finish off the animation. So I'm gonna go ahead and import in all the assets for scene 6. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and just call this scene 6, and we've got a scene 6. So we've got 5 black images, and we've got 1 white image. Okay, now for this, we're not going to be using any camera effect. So I'm just going to create a new composition altogether. So I'm going to go and create a new composition. I'm going to call this dark mode. All right. And we're going to go ahead and do the animation over here. So I'm going to bring in all this thing over here. We have all the text over here, and press S. So we kind of want to scale this down so that it fits nicely in the screen. All right, something, let's bump it up to like 36%. That's looking pretty good. Now we want the white one to be on top, which is kind of going to cover this. All right, and what we want to do is obviously go ahead and start animating this. And of course, we want to go ahead and add in the drop shadow. So I'm going to select let's close up all this. Let's close up all the things that we don't need. And I'm going to go to scene 4, copy the drop shadow, and paste that on V1. There we go. We've got some nice drop shadow going on. Now I'm going to press S and just scale this up, 1 pixel, which is 37, so that it kind of covers the black one, because if we set it to the exact value, you can see that it kind of we can see that black color stroke. So I think what we can do is set this to like 36.2, just a little bit, so that it covers the black the ones that are on the behind. Right, so I'm going to do one thing. What I'm going to do is, first of all, make sure that we have all these 3 together, and I'm going to parent this to V1 because this is going to control all the others. So I'm going to start off by pressing S on my keyboard, press scale. Let's go to, oh, this is quite big, so 40 seconds. Let's reduce this down to like 5 seconds. All right, so you can press Control K on your keyboard to get the composition settings. And 30 seconds forward, we want to create a keyframe for this over here. And at the beginning, let's go ahead and kind of scale this up like so. All right, there we go. So I'm going to select this, right click, keyframe assistant, and choose easy ease, and select the graph editor, select this, and bring that in. All right, so now if we play this, this is what we get. Cool. Now, the next thing I want to do is somewhere over here, all right, let's say like 10 frames before, we want to transition this from light mode to dark mode. So to do that, all we have to do is just animate the opacity. All right, so I'm going to click on the stopwatch for the opacity. I'm going to come over here and set this also to 0. And now we can see only the black one. So I'm going to select this, right click, keyframe assistant, and choose easy ease. And so as you can see, it kind of transitions from that to that. And we can also add a background layer. So let's go ahead and choose a new solid. But I think we can go ahead and pick up this one that we had, which is BG white. Copy that and paste that over here, and let's create a new background. It is going to be BG dark, and the color I'm going to give for this is going to be 121212. Click on OK, and we're going to also add the drop shadow settings to the others as well. So paste, 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 and paste. Right, there we go. Cool. All right, now obviously you want to transition this as well. So I'm going to bring this to the beginning, press T on the keyboard for the opacity. So BG dark is going to transition from 0% opacity to 100% opacity, right? And then right click, go to keyframe assistant and choose easy ease, right? There we go. So let's go ahead and do this. So we can see that it kind of transitions. Now maybe 20 seconds might be too much. So we're going to go another 10 frames forward, or maybe probably the 15-second mark. Right, from 15 frames, not 15 seconds, sorry. I'll move this over here and also increase this as over here as well. All right, so now let's play this. There we go. Yeah, that looks much better. Now the problem is here is that there's too much drop shadow because we have all the layers. So rather what I'm going to do is I'm going to select B1 and B5 and press the left square bracket key to kind of start it from somewhere over here. Or what we could do is, we can have all the others, which is B2, B3, B4, B5, start from here. And, and right now we just have like 2 layers. All right. And, from here, let's go 10 frames forward. And now what I want to do is we want to animate the position of this. So I'm going to press P on the keyboard and we're going to, get in the position properties. Let's go 30 frames forward. All right. And what I want to do is I want to select B2 and move this over here like so, just a little bit. So we can actually calculate the numbers. So we can decide how many pixels we want to do this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. and B3 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 towards the right side. And also we want to scale this down a teeny tiny bit. Press S on the keyboard, and from 99.4 we want to reduce this down to something like 85. Yeah, I think 85 looks good. And press P again, so we've got a keyframe for that. And over here for this one we want to move this probably another 10 pixels, 100 pixels. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And B5, we're gonna move this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? There we go. And we can also go ahead and scale this down. So this is going to be from 85. We're going to probably make this to like 70. And this also can be press S on the keyboard and set this to 70. All right. So basically what's happening is if we kind of play this, all right, you can see that they all move. Obviously, we're going to go ahead and select all these four, press P on the keyboard. And we kind of want to begin these over here. So press Alt and the left square bracket key to kind of cut it over here, and select all this, right click, keyframe assistant, and choose easy ease. And we can select all this and ease this in. So now we get like a really nice smooth animation. That's good. But what we want to do is we kind of want to delay these a little bit. But so what I'm going to do is B2 and B3 is fine. For B4 and B5, I'm going to move 20 frames forward, and I'm going to move these over here. So they all start at the same time, but they end at the same time. And that gives a really nice effect. So if I go this, you can see that it kind of like curtains out slowly. They don't all happen at the same time. We get that nice delay, and that's really cool. Now, the next thing we want to do is obviously once we come over here, let's go 20 frames forward. We want all of them to kind of move up one by one. So we're going to click on the BG one and press P on the keyboard. And let's actually go and create a keyframe for all the ones that we have. All right. And I'm going to go 30 frames forward, and I'll select the first one and move this over to the top. Oh, we selected the wrong element. Now you're going to select the BG1 and drag that outside. Let's zoom out a little bit and drag that outside. Then we've got B2 and B3. We're going to move these up as well. So just hold down Shift and push them out of the screen. And then we've got B4 and B5 as well. So select these two, and we can push these out of the screen as well. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to select these two, right click keyframe assistant, choose easy ease, and go here and make this ease. And then let's check all these. I hope all these also have an easing. So yeah, they already have an easing, so that's pretty good. And now what's going to happen here is that when we play this, they all kind of move out at the same time. But what we want to do is we want to sort of create a delay. So maybe 5 frames forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold down Control. We can send the first the BG2 and BG3, and go another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames forward, and then send BG4 and BG5. So we sort of have that delay again that I was talking about, right? So there we go. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And obviously make sure you turn on motion blur for everything. And let's take a look at this. All right, there we go. And fantastic. Now, the other thing that we want to do is let's actually go ahead, right click, create a new null object, because right now everything is, static. It's not moving, there's no zoom or camera effect. That's what makes things cinematic, right? So we want to go and call this control. Okay. And I'm going to select BG1 and control that over here. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and press S on the keyboard for scale. Okay. And we're going to add a keyframe, and I'm going to come here to the end, and I'm going to kind of scale this down like 90%, and also go ahead, right click, choose keyframe assistant, and choose easy ease. So now what's happening is that the entire scene is, if you look at it, it's kind of scaling back slowly, right? And maybe 90 is too much, so we can probably set this to 95, And if you play this again, you can see that the entire scene is still moving back, and that gives a really nice cinematic feel. All right. And the last part is, just to go ahead and get the logo that we did. So let's go and search for the logo composition, and we've got the logo. And I'm going to take the logo and put that behind everything. And obviously it's too big, so I'm going to go ahead and make this smaller. And this is going to be behind all the others. So I'm going to start the logo somewhere over here. And if you play this, you can see that the logo comes over here, and we've got we've got that nice animation. All right, let's go ahead and play this again. And there we go. Fantastic. Now we're going to come to the final section, and we're going to go ahead and bring in our duck mode one that we did. Oh, we call it doll mode. So let's do duck mode, and bring this over here on top of everything else, and press the left square bracket key to begin this. And let's see when we want to start this. So I think, yeah, so this should be fine. So let's play this, and of course, and you've got that, and boom, and then escapes. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And of course, you can go ahead and do whatever you want after this. And once you do that, probably come to the 30 seconds mark, you can press the N button on your keyboard. N is going to end this. So you can see that the composition kind of ends over here, and you can right click and then choose trim comp to work area. So now you've got only the animation that's there. All right, so you've got the meat, and then the all new, and then you've got the next one, which is beautiful, sleek, feature packed. Then you've got splitwise, and then you've got all the other text that comes in, and then it smashes together. You've got scene 1, scene 2, and then scene 3, and then scene 4. All right, it kind of moves that fast, and then you've got, like, of course, and then you've got dark mode, and that exits with the logo, right? So that's pretty much it. So once you do this, obviously you've got to render it. So we can go to composition and choose add to render queue. All right, and here is the settings. So I'm going to explain the settings over here. Now, if you're using, After Effects does not. Now there are a couple of formats. So if you click on output 2, you can choose the output file. And if you choose the output module, this is where you can choose the format. So you've got AVI, MP3, QuickTime, and a lot of these other things. All right. So if you want to export it as MOV, you can choose QuickTime. And if you can also, QuickTime allows you to export with an alpha channel. So if you want an alpha channel, you can have that. But in our case, we don't have an alpha channel. So we're just going to keep it to RGB. Now, if you want to export as an MP4, you need another software called as Media Encoder, which also comes free if you have an Adobe subscription. So what you want to do is you want to choose Q in AME, and AME stands for Adobe Media Encoder. And there you can actually find the preset for MP4. So let's click on add to AME, and now this is Adobe Media Encoder. What you want to do is choose the preset, and what you want to do is come to the format, and you want to choose H.264. This is the MP4 format, and you cannot export transparency with MP4. So if you need transparency, you need to export in MOV format. So for now, we don't need any transparency, so I'm going to choose H.264. And the preset, I typically go for YouTube 1080p full HD1, but you've got like a bunch of other presets as well. And once you have that, you can choose the output name and leave all the settings as it is, and click on OK. And then you can click on the green button, and that's going to start rendering it. And then you have your promo video. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial series, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comment sections down below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more amazing, awesome content. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So till then, take care and bye-bye.